So you've just been watching the countless Rocket League freestyle montages and seen mind-blowing shots from triple resets to ceiling shuffle double taps. Now, most of you are smart enough to know that this isn't realistic for the average player. I mean, we struggle with open net sometimes. But every time I see these clips, I can't help but realize how unstoppable they are, and how godly they would make me feel if I was able to pull them off. However, the problem is, these shots are like food you see in advertisements, all colourful, flavoursome, and delicious looking, but when you try it for yourself, you are severely disappointed. The community is so influenced by this, that they begin to think that in order to improve or rank up, they must learn things like flip reset musty flicks to score. However, as a Grand Champ, and I'm sure many of you can agree, this is far from the case. I mentioned in my Coaching Every Rank video that the best way to get Grand Champ isn't by pulling off ridiculously flashy plays, but by taking opportunities you didn't know you previously had. And that is what this video is centered upon, trying to teach you all the highest percentage and most effective offensive strategies out there that are not ridiculously hard to learn and can be applied multiple times in a game. Just quickly before we dive in, I checked my analytics the other day and noticed that over 90% of you aren't subscribed to the channel. I recently set my goal to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I figured that if only a small portion of you guys that aren't subscribed did so, we would get there in no time. So if you like the content, consider supporting the channel as it is free and you've got nothing to lose. Alrighty, so with that out of the way, let's begin with the first offensive strategy, the low 50. For those who don't know, a 50 is when two players hit the ball at the same time, and it pinches out randomly, hence the 50% chance of winning. The low 50 is something you can do as long as you have somewhat decent ground ball control, so it is super effective at almost every rank. It consists of you dribbling the ball either on your roof or on the ground, the important thing being that you are directly behind the ball. Now, when the opponent challenges, you tap the brakes, causing the ball to roll slightly out in front of you, and then you do a single jump. This means that when the opponent hits the ball, they hit it directly into you, and as you are behind the ball's center of mass, you absorb all of the momentum, causing the ball to stay in front of you and the opponent to go flying away. If you want to make this more effective, you can do a few flicks before pulling this move, meaning the opponent is likely to challenge higher and giving you a better chance of this working. This is super effective in 1v1 situations and can be performed on virtually no boost and with very little skill prerequisite, which is why it's such a good thing to add to your repertoire. Moving on to the second method, which is the backwall pass. Do you ever come up against opponents with extremely good defense and you struggle to get it past them? If so, then this is a very good strategy for you, and it's also very self-explanatory. It consists of you intentionally missing a shot off the back wall. The key thing about it is that it forces your opponents to jump for the save, putting them out of position and potentially wasting their boost. Even better, this means that the ball comes back to you, allowing you to put a follow-up shot on net whilst they are still recovering from the first shot. This is effective in every mode, and can either be a pass to yourself or to your teammate. The back wall is extremely underutilized in lower ranks, so try it out and I'm sure you'll have some success. As an extension, you can also pass it off the ceiling if the ball is in the opponent's back or corner wall, which can throw off your opponents and result in a free shot for your teammate. The third strategy for the video is hook and power shots. If you've ever watched an Ocalid 1v1, you'll know the absurdly overpowered nature of these types of offense. And if you haven't, I highly recommend you check one out. He's pretty much mastered this tactic, and uses it with a high success rate against some of the best players in the world. The hook shot involves taking the ball wide of the opponent's net, and then cutting and flipping into the ball to give it immense power. The action of hitting the ball on the diagonal gives the ball more power than a simple straight on hit would give, and it produces a change in direction that the defenders will struggle to read. Whilst in a position to use this, you can either shoot low, high, top corner, fake, pass to a teammate, pass it off the back wall, or go for a low 50. The sheer number of variations is what makes it so hard to defend. It's best to refine this skill in 1v1 situations, but this doesn't mean it isn't effective in 2s and 3s. The speed, variation, and sheer success rate of this strategy when done properly is too hard to ignore, so I cannot recommend it enough. As we cross the halfway point of the video, we'll move on to tactic number 4, which is the boost starve. This is arguably one of the most underrated, underused, and unnoticed strategies in Rocket League, which is mainly because you don't see the boost steals and starves when a goal goes in. You only see the shot and or pass that scored it. It's a pretty simple premise. An opponent with no boost is an opponent with weak defense. In order to apply this tactic, you must be constantly aware of your opponent's position, and when possible and without compromising your position, go for a boost that an opponent is either going for or will go for. This can be best performed after passing the ball center and rotating across the net and stealing their corner boost. After a while, your opponent will run low on boost, as you have it all, causing a breakdown in their defense and hopefully a goal. Boost is extremely important for almost every maneuver or play, so denying your opponent of it is a big deal. Please do not underestimate boost control. After discussing something that is slightly less mechanically oriented, we'll now go through something that is demo and bump plays, and more specifically, air dribble bumps. As much as I hate getting demoed, I cannot deny that it is an extremely effective strategy, so instead of complaining about it, follow Invader's footsteps.
You only knew the power of the dark side.
As well as the plethora of hilarious reactions you'll get from people who fall victim to you, it will result in significantly more opportunities. Linking it to the last strategy, if you can demo your opponent in net on your way for a boost steal, not only do you get the boost but also free up the net. It's a 2-for-1 deal. Without being a demo hungry maniac, start looking for more opportunities to demo, and believe me, you'll start opening up many more avenues to score. On top of this, we have arguably the single most unstoppable tactic in the game, the air dribble bump. This consists of hitting the ball up into the air and on target. It doesn't even have to be a super good air dribble, and then flying directly at your opponent and cutting off their line of defense by bumping or demoing them. As a defender, there is literally nothing you can do to stop this if it's done correctly. And whilst this is a slightly more skilled play, it is ridiculously overpowered at the higher ranks. You have to be careful though, as it is an all-in play, so it's a situation of either you score or your opponent does, so use it sparingly. Finally, with 5 of the strategies revealed and discussed, it brings us to the final tactic of the video, passing plays. In 3v3 especially, passing plays is what can be the difference between a win and a loss. Flip resets won't save you when the defender can challenge instantly and without fear. However, a disorienting infield pass can. As a defender, you are often expecting a shot to come on net from the direction of the person with the ball, making it easily savable. However, when that ball suddenly cuts across the field and comes flying at you from a different direction, it makes things a lot more difficult. There isn't a specific way to train this skill, but the best advice is either to get in comms with people, as well as just drill it into your mind that you need to look infield more. Repetition is what will help you improve your awareness and execution, so keep reminding yourself of the opportunity to pass and it will eventually become a staple of your offense. Obviously, there are still plenty of viable tactics out there, but these are the 6 that have a really high success rate and do not require insane mechanical ability to pull off. As always, feel free to discuss the strategies in the comments as well as suggest your own, and please consider subscribing to the channel on its journey to 10,000 subscribers. As I said, only a small portion of you who watch this need to do so in order to get us there. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed the video and learned something, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers.